Today, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect day to update you guys on our Cardano price prediction. Now, you guys have known we've said many things in the past, and they are all coming to fruition, and we're going to be looking at that in this video. We will be starting off by looking at some really bullish news in regards to Grayscale and what they did recently, having done something previously. Don't worry, it sounds a little bit mystic, but I'll explain it all. And it relates to, of course, Cardano. We will be starting off there. And actually, this is quite a bullish indicator, certainly when we look at the chart of Grayscale's product that now has Cardano back in it. I'll explain it all, don't worry. So we are going to be starting the video off there, and then we're going to be looking at the price action for Cardano. We're going to be updating you on our price prediction. We're going to look at what we previously said and how that's coming to fruition, and actually what this means. And in my opinion, I think you're going to see a $7.10 Cardano price this cycle. And we've certainly got a technical pattern. Now, this technical pattern, coincidentally, is forming right around the time of Bitcoin dominance rolling, which it did previously, and actually is a technical pattern that previously we had great success for, or not me personally, because I wasn't as astute with technical analysis back then as I am now. I was more a fundamental investor, but did very well out of it. Those of you that have followed me for long enough will know we were buying Cardano in the cents, and it went all the way to $3. I thought it would go higher, it didn't. But actually, we said 5 to 7 was our prior bull market price prediction. Without technical analysis, you're likely going to get to $7 plus this market. So we'll get there eventually. So we've got a hell of a lot to discuss. Today's a beautiful day to actually be talking about Cardano's price action because, of course, the markets are selling off. And that's the time to reaffirm our bias. We don't want to make videos when the price is going up saying, haha, this is what's happening. We'd rather be early to the party and have a more sturdy plan than just be day-to-day price orientated. And that's what we try and do here. The news that I have for you, though, to start things off, which is really bullish, is to do with Grayscale. So a lot of people are really clowning the Cardano community on the back end of this. Grayscale has removed Cardano, ADA, and Polygon Matic from its digital large cap fund. GDLC. We're going to be looking at the GDLC chart because those of you that watch regularly, we know we've used this as a barometer for being bullish on the overall cryptocurrency space. They also removed Cosmos from their smart contract platform, X Ethereum fund, and removed CRV from their Grayscale DeFi fund. Note they added AVAX and XRP. Now, we've got huge news because if we go over to Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, you shall find that Cardano is back in the party. It's back there. And actually, this is pretty bullish, certainly when we look, and we've done a lot of homework on Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. And we are now predicting, and have been predicting for a long time now, certainly whilst this right shoulder has been forming, around about $175 run for Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. Remember, we predicted the same thing for GBTC, even in regards to the same pattern. And you can see how that target was met. And this was all fundamentally driven on the back end of an ETF. It's likely you're going to see a wave of ETFs, including basket ETFs, which Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund will be. And they've got a great track record of getting things approved. And actually the fact that Cardano is now back as a part of that, having previously been excommunicated from it, I think is a bullish sign. And if that basket's going to do well, you can derive that the assets within it are also going to do well. And of course, this is performance dependent, whether they stay in it or not. Let's talk about our Cardano price prediction, guys. Let's start things off with a recap. So this is what we showed you guys last time from a macro overview. And we've got our phase analysis schematic. So we like to teach that markets move in a wave-like fashion. They rinse and repeat because ultimately they're driven by human beings, and human beings often make the same mistakes, plain and simply. But there's 4 phases to a market. There's an accumulative phase, there's an uptrend, there's a distribution phase, and there's a downtrend. So there's a bottom, a middle, a top, and an end. And if we look at where Cardano is today, actually bullishly, this range here has been accumulation. You've now broken that on volume, which doesn't show up amazingly on Binance. It does better on other exchanges. And after breaking this resistance that you'd previously been held under, it was previous support in the prior bull market, you've now actually backdated it as support. And this is a great sign for continuation in phase 2, which of course is an uptrend, as we'd previously stated in the prior video. Now, on top of that, you also have a nice double bottom that ultimately is giving us that $3-ish price prediction. It's not quite $3. It's just shy of $3. around about $2.99, something like that. So we'll call it $3. And that's based off this double bottom. You've got that in your favor. You've got the fact that you have now put in the first higher high in this sort of new trend and higher low. So you've got the double bottom in your favor. You've got that in your favor. And now we're getting confluence. And this is typically how phase 2 looks and starts, by the way, in the form of what could potentially be deemed an inverse head and shoulders that is now forming. And we looked at the possibilities of this previously. It's a great sign that you're pausing where you are and expect, you can see we've got the right shoulder sort of drawn on here, preempting it, a right shoulder to form, and expect continuation out of that. And you can see if we drop down to, let's say, a 3 daily, this right shoulder, with the lower of the shoulder running into sort of your phase 1 resistance, now flipped into phase 2 support, is now forming. And actually, if this level gets taken, it's very plausible, in my opinion, that you've got that $7.10 price ahead of you. And what a day to come out and give a prediction like that based on how the market action is currently behaving. You know, the market's not doing very well at all. Remember, crypto is a very leveraged and volatile space. If you've got your wits about you, you're not going to be too focused on the short-term price action, but more broadly where an asset is heading, and that's the kind of insight that we offer here. Now, very interestingly, we can show you a million examples of head and shoulders. So one of the recent ones for us was Tesla. We said Tesla was going to double about 6 months ago. And here you are. In terms of, it's not quite doubled, it's just shy of our target. But this was an inverse head and shoulders. You can see left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We've given you many of these, and a lot of them have come to fruition. So also we've got Amazon, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. This is very close to our $261 target. Remember, that would have been over a doubling from when we gave that. DAX was one we had great success for. You can see left shoulder, head, right shoulder. This target was met. And of course, we've got Microsoft, which did very well for us. And you can see left shoulder, head, right shoulder, continuation. And Cardano is on the cusp of embarking on that journey now as we speak. So there's a confluence of technical indicators that lead us to believe there's a good time ahead of us for Cardano. And actually, we've now got a concession of technical targets based on a double bottom target, which takes you just shy of $3, and now an inverse head and shoulders, which is likely going to see you run to that $7.10 mark. And I want to go even further on all of this, because actually this is the exact same thing that Cardano did in the previous cycle, ladies and gentlemen. And actually, we're going to go ahead and replay and show you what happened after this right shoulder was formed. So you can see the formation of this right shoulder. We'll go ahead and play it, and we'll watch it play out together. Once you took that key level of significance, that neckline, you then embarked on a journey towards, I believe it was around about $2 something. We didn't quite get to $3 then. Of course, that came on the Alonzo hard fork. You can see just how accurate this inverse head and shoulder was as a predictor. And actually today, ladies and gentlemen, you can see just how you ran into it, put a toe above it, and then sold off. You, of course, formed this falling wedge, which we did indeed call here on the channel. And then you had the Alonzo hard fork, which took you even higher. But we're calling for the exact same thing to take place today. Rather interestingly as well, I do believe alt season is upon us. And if we throw the BTC DOM chart on here, BTC DOM is rolling at, certainly for ADA, the perfect time. If you look at where BTC DOM rolled in the last cycle, it was as you were forming this right shoulder. If you look at where BTC DOM is currently rolling, it's as you're forming this right shoulder. And BTC DOM, for me, obviously we've spoken a little bit about how we've got a broader pattern taking BTC DOM down to 20% in the future. Stay tuned, become a subscriber, see if that plays out. Hopefully you guys are with me, and some of you have already been with me for a number of years, and we really do truly appreciate you. But BTC DOM rolling, I don't think you've quite invalidated the trend yet that it's been in, but you're very close. And certainly this is a lower high. If we get a lower low now for this trend, it's over for BTC DOM. And I think that's going to come on fundamentally all the great things that are coming this year. So there's a lot of things when you look at Cardano that make me very bullish on it. For me, Cardano isn't going to be the best performer of this cycle. I said that previously. I know I annoy people on that, but I'm just being honest. People don't want honesty nowadays. They want you to lie to them. But we're not going to do that. We ultimately believe that There are assets out there that are going to overperform ADA. I hold some of them. HBAR is obviously my largest position. That doesn't mean that we don't like ADA. We think it's going to do well. In fact, we think it's going to $7. That's a 7x from where it currently is. And I think that's an impressive return, regardless of who you are. And ultimately, we've now got technical patterns, technical targets, technical indicators that are ultimately all pointing in that direction, which of course aligns with the broader space. So that is it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I hope you enjoyed this update. We're putting our best foot forward despite the market action currently, and I think it's the perfect time to do it. And we're ultimately saying, we think, look out, guys. Cardano is likely going to around about $7.10. We've got that inverse head and shoulders in much the same way we had one in the previous cycle that took you to $2. We've now got one that's going to take you to $7.10. There's also a double bottom target that's still got to be met. The fact that you're in phase 2, etc., etc., etc. It's going to be a great time for ADA holders. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.